acknowledge James Corbett, who leads our city's codes team. Thank you for being here today. Heated debate and passionate advocacy from community leaders and champions gather us here today to raise our collective voices and our awareness for those who live relegated to the silent corners of our community and places not necessarily known for power or influence, for people who sit around dinner tables and on front porches, not around board tables or at a dais. Thank you, City Council Chair Lisa Woolard Bowman, for carrying this torch of advocacy on behalf of so many who also serve and share your concern for our community's most vulnerable. To Terry Lipsy Scott for beating a steady drum. The mayor and I appreciate your leadership. We are a city of our brothers and sisters keepers, and so we are here today. We're a city that loves neighbors as friends and friends as family, and so we are here today. And while there are many complex details on which the various sides of this issue may never agree, there are some truths around which we are universally centered. Everyone deserves a safe and happy home.
Yes.
Filled with as many social determinants of whole health as is possible. Everyone, and the youngest and longest living among us, require and deserve special prioritization in this regard. The city of St. Pete lives this value. A person's need of assistance to realize that safe and happy home in no way forfeits their right, their expectations, or their privilege of respectful interactions with those providing that assistance. Dignity must never be a price paid for help. St. Pete lives by that value. St. Petersburg is a wonderful city, filled with promise and hope. But we have a long, long way to go before we fully realize our shared dream of opportunity for all. And we all know this. A critical element of that vision is affordable housing. We need more housing that people can afford. About that, there is no debate. And in City Hall, we believe a highly functioning housing authority that can help provide for much of that housing is an asset to our community. We're much more likely to attain our community's housing goals with an optimized housing authority than without one. We need such partners. That is a fact. But we need those partners to be trusted agents of change. We need those charged with providing for the vulnerable to use their strength to build up those they serve. While our own work in the community tells us that there are some residents who's given feedback that they look forward to changes planned for Jordan Park Senior Village, too many feel that they've been victimized by the process. And it's not for anyone to cast doubt or aspersions on the veracity or validity of those perceptions. Certainly not the officials charged with providing the services on which these residents depend. People feel it, so it's real. It is only for the housing authority to make itself available and accessible to those it serves in a way that underscores a commitment to dignity and respect. And that availability needs to come not only from the staff, because the staff reports to a board, and the board represents us, the community. Accessible, honest, collaborative, respectful inclusion of the many diverse opinions on this project is where resolution waits to emerge. And it is our expectation in the mayor's office that the business of the housing authority will unfold accordingly. So make the difference, board. Please serve the community as you've been called. It is not the mayor's wish or expectation that he will dictate your votes with his appointment. But he does want appointees to gain subject matter expertise over time and then use it to make decisions serve the residents, not the entity. He wants board members he appoints to ask tough questions that hold staff accountable. He wants the board to laud the staff's wins when they are great. That is good to do, but to redirect staff's choices when it's necessary. And he wants the board to be a trusted body that our community can count on for servant leadership that elevates the lives of the residents that it serves. So thank you to those board members that are governing accordingly. And for those who cannot affirm that this is the way you are leading, please dig deep and do so. The Housing Authority is an autonomous entity. Its executive leadership team is not hired or fired by the mayor. Authority to appoint board members is the mayor's primary opportunity to influence the goals, philosophies, and choices of the Housing Authority, and he takes this very seriously. And while the Housing Authority has no formal or legal accountability to anyone in City Hall, there is a moral responsibility and accountability to all of us to steward the resources of this serious asset guided by the values of inclusivity and respect that define our city. Respect is non-negotiable. The video that we saw at the ending of the last meeting of the Housing Authority is unacceptable. Dr. Davis, Chair of the Board, Mr. Love, Executive Director of the organization. I understand the challenges of serving multiple and ever-evolving needs and demands of the people you serve with finitely constrained resources. It is a hard task. And I'm not here to necessarily cast aspersions on the diligence with which you deliver your mission. In the city, we want to see you successfully serve your constituents. It's in all of our best interest that the Housing Authority works as it should. Your success is a benefit to our city's people and a key component to our city's housing goals. In fact, we cannot do it without the Housing Authority. But if you are not up to the task, we are able to do it without you. I am here on behalf of the mayor to encourage you to consider the sacred trust that must exist between the vulnerable and those of us with the awesome responsibility to serve on their behalf. If you answer the call, do it with diligence. Our community cannot afford an enduring fault line between the Housing Authority and its residents. It's on you to earn the trust of your constituents by demonstrating your dedication to the provision of dignity, respect, and understanding in addition to housing. As you know, creating, managing, and providing affordable housing is not where your work ends. It's where it begins. And we look forward to your next steps.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And now I have to go behind her. Thank you all for coming out this morning. And thank you to my fellow colleagues. They have a lot to say, but because this meeting was so short and was not noticed, because of the sunshine law, they cannot speak. But they have told me that they are willing to do interviews afterwards. Thank you to Deputy Mayor Kanika Tomlin, Chair Lipsy Scott, as always, School Board Chair Renee Flowers. Thank you to the two commissioners that I see here, and where is she? Ann Sherman White was somewhere. Okay. And thank you to Pastor Basha Jordan, which is the grandson of Elder Jordan. Whenever anyone is displaced from their homes, whether it's in my city or my district, it concerns me. The way that this displacement happened is unacceptable. And I have spoken about it numerous times. I penned a letter to CEO Tony Love, and I even sent it to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. But I want to be very clear that this is not about the land for me. It is about the residents. But I refuse to allow anyone to disrespect the legacy of Elder Jordan by stating that there is no record that Elder Jordan donated the land to the city for safe, affordable housing for African Americans. It's been in place for almost 80 years, and the name is Jordan Park, right? But I say that to say this: our history is not their history. If you have never eaten ribs at Geach's Barbecue, had a fried chicken sandwich with mayonnaise from Snow Peak, all right, and that's the lead quarter. If you have never danced in a Manhattan casino, or when I was able to, it was Champagne Lounge, you're right. This is not your history. But I want to say to you, we are going to do whatever it takes to protect it. Gone are the days of just accepting what is taken from us. It is the mission of the St. Pete Housing Authority to provide a variety of safe, sanitary, accessible, decent, and affordable housing to the eligible citizens of the city of St. Pete, while enhancing and promoting resident self-sufficiency. And the residents of Jordan Park deserve this. They deserve commissioners that will stand in the paint for them and do what is right. They deserve commissioners that are not afraid to lead, that will challenge Tony Love and any other CEO and give the CEO direction. Not the other way around. We dealt with this with the last CEO of St. Pete Housing Authority. And like Terry Lisby Scott said, we were about to lose this one. But we fought for this one, and just like we fought for this one, we're gonna fight for Jordan Park. There is no more asking.